Yesterday, we did a topic all about expired. So if you did not see that, or if you're a guest in here, hello, guest, um, uh, and you want that recording, let me know. I can send you that recording. The day before, we did a topic, how to get your foot in the door, the start of the conversation to get in the door, right? To get that appointment. So today we are doing for sale by owners. Again, everything we're doing this week, there's another session tomorrow. Everything is lined up specifically for listings. March 1st starts spring market. People are thinking about selling their houses. So we're focused again this month on training on that, right? Talking about that. So two best ways to get listings, the fastest way to get listings. Yesterday was expireds. Today we're going to talk about for sale by owners. So with for sale by owners, what I'm going to go through in our time here is, as I'm doing this, it's going to be a lot of information in a short amount of time. Okay, I'm going to send an email afterwards. It's going to have attachments of what I talk about, some in practice conversational pieces you can use, just kind of some best practices, right? My background way back in the day when I first started in real estate was just expireds and for sale by owners, because I figured, well, they both said they already want to sell their house. So half the battle is already won, right? So now it's just getting them to say yes to you, which that just takes skill and confidence and getting them to trust you and like you, right? So what we're going to walk through is the mindset of a for sale by owner. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Then after that, we're going to talk about number one, where can you find for sale by owners for free? So you don't have to pay for a system. Then we'll go into how do you approach a for sale by owner on the opening of a call? Like what's that first phone call sound like? And then what should your follow-up with them look like? Okay, so mindset, where to find them, start at the call, follow-up system. Is there anything else either of you, and if you're watching this recording, because I know I'm sending this to a few people later, if there's anything that you have questions on or you missed or you want to dig deeper on, let me know. We'll do it. All right. So let's talk about a little bit about the mindset of for sale by owner. So here's the go. Here's a person who says, or people, right? A homeowner who says, I want to sell my house. And they want to sell it for a reason. There's a why. Nobody just wakes up one day and says, oh, I think I'll just sell my house today, right? They want to sell it for a reason. So our very first objective is to find out more about what that reason is, right? Why do they want to sell, right? What's that motivation? Where are they moving to? And where are they moving to? Because if they're staying within your area, and even if they're moving out of state, while you might not land them as a listing, you could help them as a buyer, right? You could be their buyer's agent. Or if they're moving out of state, you could refer them to an agent in another state. I talked to a for sale by owner not long ago. They were moving to Kansas City. And I was like, oh my God, I have great partner agents. And I always say that, partner agents. I have great partner agents in Kansas City. Not all agents are created equally. I'd love to connect you with someone great to help you find a place there. They're like, oh, fantastic. Now, I didn't know any agents at that location. I went online, found a few, talked to a few, lined them up, referral fee. There you go. Okay. So for sale by owners do want to sell their house. Typically, the reason why they're trying to sell it on their own is because, what do you guys think? I don't know if you're able to come off mute or go out, use a chat box. Why do you think for sale by owners don't want to sell, like, are not using an agent in the beginning? What's your assumption anyway?
They want to save money.
There you go. Perfect. They think, here's the go. It's all about mindset, right? They think that by selling it on their own, they're going to save money. Now, the National Association of Realtors website, the NAR website, is an amazing place for some stats I'm about to give you. That's where I go. They update their stats, I think once a month, but don't quote me on that. So before you if you're going to start calling for sale by owners, check the National Association of Realtors website, look up the for sale by owner stats because they'll give you the most updated percentages. On average, for sale by owners, net less selling it on their own by using an agent. Let me just say it a different way. On average, a for sale by owner will net usually around 7 to 9% more using an agent. Here's why, right? Think about it this way. For sell by owner is like, oh, I can do this. I can save money. They don't know anything about real estate. So they put a sign in their yard. Great. Their neighbors get to see it. Their neighbors already live there, right? They maybe put on social media for their friends to see, friends and family. And they might put it on Zillow because they can do that, right? Where it's not is the one place that matters, which is the bright MLS, right? Multiple listing service. Buyers agents, right? When we're working with buyers, we're not playing on Zillow and we're not scrolling social media to find our buyers' houses. We go to the MLS. So what's happening is for sell by owners think they can sell and make more money. What's actually happening is they're getting on the market, but they're actually missing 80% of the ready, willing, and able buyers, meaning the pre-approved buyers ready to go working with an agent are not seeing their house. So they're missing 80. So if you have 100 people looking at homes, 80 of them don't see their house. That's a huge number, which is why on average they net 7 to 9% more using an agent, right? These are real numbers. These are real stats. You can look at the NAR website, pull the new stats because they come out all the time. But so I want to talk a little bit about that first, because as agents, I don't think we even realize that, right? Now, let's move this conversation. Any questions on that before I kind of transition to the next step? Or any thoughts on that at all? No? Okay. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to show you really quickly where you can find some for sale by owners to call one tonight, right? Like rip off the band-aid and call one. Here's the worst thing that happens. Okay. One, they hang up on you. Okay, they're having a bad day. They're not hanging up on you. They're just hanging up on the moment. And you can call them back next week, right? They won't remember you. And maybe they're in a better mood and they'll talk to you. So right here, I'm going to share. Now, this is the only time that I ever go to Zillow. I don't like Zillow. I don't go to Zillow as a real estate agent. But when I'm calling for sell by owners and I'm making my call list, this is the only time I go here because they're on here for free. Okay. So I'm going to go on here as a buyer. I'm going to click for sale by owner. Up here, I'm going to put in a county. So I can do Howard County. You know, Anne Arundel County. Right. We can go Baltimore County. Okay. So they all put up different results. Okay. So I'm going to go back to, hold on. I'm going to go back to Howard because that's where I live. Okay. So there's 8 for sale by owners in Howard County. There was 13 in Baltimore, and I forgot to see how many there was in Anne Arundel. And we can look in Baltimore City. And again, you're an agent in Maryland, so pick wherever you want to go. So a best practice when calling these is you want to have prep time, like set aside, I would say maybe an hour, right? And this could be done at night while you're watching a TV show or something, right? Where you're not making phone calls, so it's not during busy hours, where you're literally sitting here, you pull up all the different counties you're interested in traveling to. You're clicking on each one and you make a kind of cheat sheet, whether it's Excel or Google or however you like to do this. You put them in command, put them in your system, however you want to create your system. But you're making a system of who am I calling tomorrow or who am I calling this week, right? Depending on how many there are. So here you have the address, what it's listed for. And then when we scroll down, listed by property owner phone number. Now I don't have a name, but that's okay. I'm going to approach that. In a minute, I'm going to teach you how to approach this call without a name. So I'm actually going to demonstrate that in a second. Okay. So I'm going to so tonight, if I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, this week, Thursday and Friday, I just want to call for sale by owners. Tonight, I'm going to sit with my laptop on my lap, copy and paste the address, copy and paste the price, copy and paste the property owner phone number. That's it. You don't need details. You don't need anything else. When you talk to them, you can get all that. When you talk to them, don't spin your wheels on so much details. So you're literally making a cheat sheet of all the different. So let's pull up another one. So here you go. They just did a price cut in friendship. Scroll down. There's a phone number. Bam. All right. So we talked a little bit about the mindset. We talked a little bit about how for sale by owners, on average, will net more using an agent. Another stat I will share with you is over 75%. Last number I saw nationwide was 76%. But again, I check these every quarter, not every month. So take that with a grain of salt. 76% of for sale by owners on average will list with an agent. And the agents they choose out of who do I trust and like and who follows up with me the most. That's how they choose. It's not who knows the most. It's not who's been in real estate the longest. It's not who can give me the best price because we're all pricing it based on the market. It's who do I like and trust? Who can I get a relationship with? And who's following up with me the most? One of the first ever for sale by owners listing appointments I ever landed. I was 3 months in the business, didn't know anything about real estate whatsoever, never had a listing. Okay. And I followed up with a for sale by owner every single Tuesday for 12 weeks. 9:30 a.m. every Tuesday, 12 weeks. Now it was a $900,000 for sale by owner, so I wanted it. So I was like, while this is for sale by owner, I'm not letting this one go. Every Tuesday, the same guy got the same call. By the way, after the third Tuesday, he would literally answer the phone and go, "Hey, Alana, not ready yet." Cool. How's weekend? Any showings? Next week. Oh, great. I'll follow up with you next week. Hey, Alana, not ready yet. 12th call I made, number 12, 12 weeks. He answers the phone. He goes, "All right, get out here. I'm ready." Right. So it's persistence wins, follow up wins, relationship wins. Okay. Now we're going to actually break down the conversation. So if you think about the conversation, you want to go in always with honesty. What I mean by that is don't go in there with, I call this the old dialogue people used to use way back in the day. And it was, so don't do this. Okay. For those watching the recording, do not do this. And it was, oh, I have a buyer. I'd love to preview your home. Unless you actually have a buyer looking in that area, in that price point, who is pre-approved and the house matches what they're looking for, don't say that because you're lying. Now, when you go to their house to preview it, you have to backtrack and they're gonna be like, "You lied to me to get in the door." Why would someone want to work with that, right? Why would someone work with someone who just lied to them on the phone? Always go in with honesty. They're gonna respect you. They will respect you more. So your call is something like, you know, "Hey, Therese, my name's Alana. Actually, I don't know your name because on Zillow it doesn't give the name. So I might say something like, 'Hi, my name's Alana. I was calling about your property at 123 Cookie Road. I'm a local real estate agent. What's your name?'" Right? And then they give a name. "Hi, Therese. So nice to meet you. Again, I mentioned my name's Alana, local real estate agent. Listen, I'm sure we're calling you a bunch. I'm actually calling because I specialize in working with people looking to sell their house on their own. I really respect that. Just out of curiosity, when it sells, where are you moving to?" Now, you can start with any type of question like that. That's my favorite question because it's easy to answer, it's fast, and if they're not going to hire me as a agent to sell their house, maybe I can help them buy or refer it out at least. Right? So, hey, yeah, when it sells, where are you moving to? There's the thing, feed off of what they say. If they say I'm moving to North Carolina, oh my God, what part of North Carolina? My friend's in Durham. That's a real statement, don't lie, right? They're like, "Oh, I'm moving there for my job, and me and my brother who lives with me are moving there." So you're getting this little rapport going, which probably takes a minute. Okay, it takes a minute, maybe 1.5 minutes at best. Then you're gonna say, "Listen, just out of curiosity, what has you thinking about selling your house on your own as opposed to using an agent?" Now, as agents, do we know the answer? Yes. We can guess the answer, but we don't want to answer it for them. We want to get them to answer. So just out of curiosity, what has you thinking about selling your home on your own? Now they'll say things like, "Well, I tried an agent in the past and it went really bad, the situation." Just simply be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. Not all agents are created equal." Or they'll say things most likely like, "Well, I really need to walk away with the most amount of money in my pocket, right? Okay. Thanks for, so anything they say, you're just saying thanks for sharing it, right? You're just welcoming it in. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. You're not talking about price. That's for when you get your foot in the door. You're not trying to sell them on the phone. You're not going down, oh, here's how I market homes. Do not sell on the phone. Get your foot in the door. That's the whole objective here. Get face-to-face contact. So then after you're like, hey, thanks for letting me know you're moving to North Carolina, to Durham area with your brother, and you're thinking about selling your house. And the reason you're selling it on your own is just trying to make the most out of it, right? Net the most, keep the most money in your pocket, right? Now I want to find out, why are they selling in the first place? Like, why are they moving? Again, this conversation maybe takes at best 3 minutes. You're not on the phone for an hour. It's 3 minutes. If you have someone really talkative, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. Okay. If you're on the phone with someone for about a minute and you get off the phone, you probably forgot to ask them some questions. Call them back. So now I'm going to find out, like, okay, what has you moving to North Carolina? When do you need to be in North Carolina by? Time frame, right? So again, it breaks down to the W's. Why are they selling? Where are they moving to? What is their time frame? The 3 W's. And then from there, hey, listen, I don't know if you're aware of this, but on average, now you have to use those words. You cannot promise anything because we don't know. We don't know if we can even take this listing. We don't know how much they owe in their house. We don't know if we even want the listing. But we can say on average, individuals looking to sell on their own typically net, meaning keep money in your pocket, about 7 and 9% more using an agent than selling on their own. If I could show you a way to put more money in your pocket, would you be interested in hearing more about that? If they say yes, you immediately go for the appointment. I'll demonstrate that in a second. If they're like, well, I just want to try this on my own. We just got on the market like this past weekend. Just let me see what I can do first. Respect. Respect. So you can go 2 ways there. You can either push a little further and be like, listen, I'd love to, I'm going to be in your area. We're always in the area. I'm going to be in your area. I'd love to swing by, give you my information to see you have it. Just introduce myself. Quick minute at the door. They might say yes, they might say no. Or, great, I'm going to keep in touch with you, see how it's going. Your follow-up with a for sale by owner needs to purposefully be on Mondays. Monday's the greatest day to follow up with for sale by owners because either they got a contract over the weekend or they have a pain point. So what happens on Mondays is when you call them, by the way, I'm going to show the closing in just a minute. When you call them on Mondays, it's, you know, hey, Delisa, just following up. I know I talked to you last week. Remind them because they forget you. I know I talked to you last week. Just trying to get your home sold, to get to North Carolina with your brother. Like, have your notes, put them in a system so you can remind them of what they've of what they shared with you. Okay. If you don't take notes and you simply call with the exact same conversation, how does that show you care? Right. So, hey, I know, I'm just following up. We talked last week. You mentioned trying to get to North Carolina, hopefully within the next 2 months, and really looking to, save money on selling your house. Just want to see how the showings go this weekend. Did you have any? They're either going to say yes or no. Okay. So, oh, you had 2. Oh my God, you had 2 showings. That's great. Any offers? Again, they're either going to say yes or no. What you're doing here is you are directing them where you want to take them. You don't know what they're going to answer. If they're like, oh yeah, we got an offer. Oh my God, did you accept it? What was it? Like, was it full asking? You know, have that conversation with them. Congratulate them and then ask them if they need help buying and ask them who else they know we might be able to get a referral. Okay, we're not going to win them all. Most likely, many of them will be like, no, you know what? We had 2 showings, but nobody set an offer yet. Okay, well, sorry to hear that. Listen, I'd love to, and then you go in for a close again. ABC, always be closing. So when I call you, so now I'm talking to you on Monday, I'm going to say, you know what? Here's what I'd love to do. You're not asking, you're telling. Here's what I'd love to do. I'd love to swing by like 15 minutes. All right. Take a quick preview of your home, provide you with an updated market analysis, meaning price analysis for your home based on today's market, because it's changing weekly right now. Literally, it's changing weekly right now. So you have that. Just share with you how I market homes to get them sold, and even just see if I can be of help in any way. if down the road you need, some assistance in getting to North Carolina. But either way, I'll provide you with some information to help you, right? Do mornings or evenings work better for you? Great, evenings. Does tomorrow at 4:30 or 6:15 work better? By the way, when you say 15, like 6:15, 5:45, their brain thinks, ooh, a short meeting, and they're more likely to say yes. When we say like 5, 6, 7, they think it's going to be an hour, even though we told them it's not, and they're more likely to say no. It's a little trick. So again, on that call, where are they going to? When do they need to be there? Why? Why is that important? Why are they moving to North Carolina? Or why are they moving into something bigger? What does that look like? Do they need help with that? Then it's, hey, I'd love to show you, another phrase you can say is, I'd love to interview for the opportunity to hopefully sell your home when you're ready to choose an agent, if it's the right fit. Again, these are very non-threatening phrases, which makes the person say, oh, okay, they're not trying to like come out and sell me today. Now, are we going out there with the exclusive right to sell and all the paperwork for them to sign? Absolutely. We're going out there in that 15 minutes, hopefully walking out with paperwork. Like that's a listing appointment you're going on now, right? If they are not ready, at least you have face-to-face, you have that interaction, you have a little mini relationship going. So when you follow up with them in just a few days and they haven't had any offers yet, they might be ready to use you then. Again, so your key to the call is try to get your foot in the door on call 1. If I could show you a way to potentially, I don't know until I see your house, I can't promise you anything, all right, to potentially put 7 to 9% more in your pocket using an agent than not, would you want to hear more about that? Not you want to hire me because I don't even know, I don't know if I want to work with them. I might see the house and be like, oh my God, right? They might owe too much in the house. I don't know. The example I gave with the individual who took me 12 follow-ups to get the appointment, when I finally had the appointment and went out there and previewed the home that was nothing like the pictures online, he doctored them. He was so off his rocker on price, was not budging at all. I didn't take the listing. I decided to walk away. We choose. But again, we get the foot in the door to make that choice. All right. So let me open this up a little bit. So we talked a little bit about mindset. Go to the NAR website to look at stats for sale by owners and use that. I'm going to email, because you attended this, I'm going to email all of you what's called my one-liners that I use with for sale by owners. It's like little quick one-liners you can say to them. I'll also email over, you'll get this recording. We talked about where to find them on Zillow, how to prep for the for sale by owner calls. And again, don't sell them on the phone, get your foot in the door. And most important part, follow up, follow up, follow up. That's the key to success with for sale by owners. If they're not ready to meet with you today, you're going to call them in a week. You're going to call them in a week. You're going to call them in a week. Even if they're like, call me in 3 weeks, don't listen. Call them in 1. All right. They might say, call me in 3. You're going to call them in 1. Just checking in. How's the weekend? Any showings? All right. Because by the time you call them in 3, another agent swooped in. They already got the listing. All right. Like I said, really, these are 30-minute like spitfire things on one specific topic. So I'd love to hear from somebody on here. What's one thing you got from it? Or if you have any questions.
I've heard it before, but sometimes like it's nice to hear that. I mean, if you have a for sale by owner, they want to sell it. And while you were talking, I was looking and I was like, oh, I didn't know I could just search for sale by owner in Montgomery County where I'm based out of and just do it. And then it's just, calling somebody who's probably, they might be mad, because nothing's happening, but like you just keep calling and eventually you'll get somebody, right? So yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you I love that you said that. And I'll give you little averages. When you perfect your craft, meaning you practice that starting conversation. And the greatest way to practice is 2 ways. One, just find somebody. Like my husband's not in real estate whatsoever, and I used to practice with him. My best friend is not in real estate. She works for the government. We used to go out for margaritas on Thursday nights, and I would just practice with her. I'd be like, ooh, pretend to be selling your house on your own. Like just find random people and practice just to get your foot in the door. Okay. The other way is rip off the Band-Aid and make these calls. You're going to learn trial by you can mess up because they're not going to remember you, and you can call them next week when you've practiced even more, and they won't remember you from this week. So you're like a brand new person. It's a brand new call, right? So nothing bad will ever happen. The absolute worst thing that happens is they hang up on you. True story. The person I just gave the example of the 12-week follow-up, the very first time I called him, he was having the worst day ever. I didn't know he was having the worst day. He cursed me out. Let me rephrase this. He taught me an entirely new language. Okay. I thought I knew the language. Oh, did he take so much so that I held the phone out here and people were like, what is happening right now? And I just let him go off. I didn't say anything. He's just going off on the phone. And then when he finally stopped, I put the phone back to my ear because he was loud, right? He's not yelling at me. It feels that way because it's like he's on the phone with me and he's cursing at me, but it's not me, right? It's a situation, right? So when he finally put the phone back to my ear, I was like, oh my, listen, I'm just here to help whenever you're ready. I'm so sorry. I hope you have an amazing day. And I hung up. I called him the very next week on Tuesday. Halfway through, funny story, halfway through the conversation, he's like, wait a minute. Are you the person that I cursed out last week? I was like, yep, I am. He goes, I am so sorry. I literally had the worst morning ever, and you called me at the worst time ever. I'm not getting into details, too personal, but just know that you just took the brunt of my morning. If I didn't follow up with him 12 weeks down the road, I wouldn't have gotten that appointment. No, again, I didn't take the listing, but that's neither here nor there. I could have if I wanted it, right? So don't be afraid of the no, right? There's a great book. It's called Go for No. Literally this big. This big. It's in my office. If anybody up at Legacy wants to ever borrow it, I just promise you bring it back. You can read it in like one night. But the whole premise is you make a game out of going for no. Your money comes the more no's you make. The more no's, the more you make. Because your no's lead to the yes. It's all a mindset game. Okay. Was this helpful? You guys get something out of this?
Yes.
Awesome. By the way, Therese on here, congratulations. I know I texted you, but congratulations so much on your listing going under contract. It's her first listing went under contract.
No,
Woo!
I don't have a voice.
I know you're, and I hope you feel better. I know you're feeling down, so thank you for popping in here, not feeling well.
Yes, it's
So
getting better, but my voice still, not there.
listen, plenty of hot water, gargle with salt, tea, all the things, right? Just
Lemon, ginger,
exactly. Yep.
My voice is
Hey,
okay, so congratulations. That's awesome. That's fantastic. Yeah.
the
Thank
first
you.
of
Thank you.
many, I know.
That's awesome.
Very
That's great.
excited, very
Yeah.
excited. So,
Mhm.
okay, that was today's topic. If you want the recordings from the previous ones and you don't have them, please shoot me a message. Feel free to shoot me a message. Please shoot me a message. I'll send you the recordings from yesterday and the day before. And then stay tuned tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be, hold on here. 12 o'clock, we prepare for a listing appointment. And then at 4 o'clock, 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon, guys, the 3 steps to overcome any objection.
Go for it. I'm just looking for the empty boxes.
Literally the most magical 3 steps ever to get past any objection you ever get. Ever. So that's at 4 o'clock tomorrow. I'll make sure everybody has the Zoom link for that. And have a great day. Everybody go call for sell by owner. Maybe not Therese, West your voice. Everybody else.
All right. Sounds great.
All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.